you step in there and people can feel release. They can feel relief. This is what is going to be happening. Mr. Adebayo Ajose, our able prophet and pastor, God bless you, sir. God bless you. It's nice to see you again. Omolara Pupola, Mary Omolara Pupola, God bless you. Nice to see you again. I'm doing this rather late today because I'm supposed to be preaching, like I said, I was supposed to be preaching on the Family Forum, God Reign Progressive. And I had such a hard time getting my recording into the WhatsApp group. And all I had to do then was to record from the phone that has the group into another phone, and then from that other phone I had to press my finger down and play the recording, the re-recording, so that at least when I put my finger down so that I can record directly rather than sending a pre-recorded, because I prefer the pre-recorded for preaching, because then I don't have to put my finger down for about 27 minutes to talk. Usually when I'm preaching, I don't know what I'm preaching. It's not like when we are talking here, because I know what I'm talking. I've already planned for it and so on. But for preaching, I plan, I do all that. And when I open my mouth to talk, the Holy Spirit will take me to a different direction altogether. The same message, but to a different direction. And it's only when I go back to listen to my preaching or my teaching that I'll be learning from it as well. Things I don't even know come out. Like my bishop said once, he says, when you are a true preacher, teacher, or òjíṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run, that means the servant of God, that whatever you present to people is going to be, at least 2/3 of it will be somehow new to you. It's from the depth of your knowledge, of your understanding, and of the wisdom that God has given you that the Holy Spirit will pick out what to share. Today, what I want to say is that this question of from broken to thriving cuts across every aspect of Christian living, every aspect of secular living, every aspect of just you and your life. Everybody has a future. Everybody has an expected future. You have a future that you have planned for yourself, and you expect it to be so. But God has a future for you, which He expects it to be for you. So in that case, why are you having an expected future different from the one that comes from the supernatural realm? Some people don't just want to talk about supernatural. When you start talking, they will walk away. There are lots of people in England that I know, they just don't like hearing anything supernatural. They think it's spooky. They say it's, what do they say? They say it's not esoteric. Esoteric means, means really deep. Something that's deep, and it's 100% truth, but it's hard to take in by an ordinary mind. So why would they say hard to take in by an ordinary mind? An ordinary mind cannot comprehend the thing of God. I've always known that. Because when I start to think, about creation, especially when I go into the book of Genesis, because that's one book that has told us about creation, I've got a Bible that actually tells me that this world that we are in now is recycling. That everything that has happened now has happened before. And then the world is destroyed. And that is where we got that Genesis 1 that says the world was in darkness. It was chaotic. And the Spirit of the Lord is hovering above the waters. He said, world was created before, man was created before, and they destroyed, and then God now decides that this time I want to create man in our image. Did you remember God saying that? Let's create God in our image. And that is the ground which I stand on, that the man that was created in the previous world that God destroyed and God had to recreate, the man that was created then was not in God's image. This is the first, so there was man. So it doesn't say, let us create something called man. He didn't say that. God didn't say, let's create something called man that would be in our image. Do you know, this language, if you really, really listen carefully to the words that are being used, and you know that words are containers, they will contain everything that you need to have an understanding of the message that is being passed on to you. So when God says, let's create man in our own image, it means man had existed before. And so now man in our own image. So everybody that was created from Genesis, during Genesis, and it's now, is the man that was created in God's own image. And when we say some man is created in God's image, what is God's image? We need to know who God is. We need to know the nature of God. We need to know the characteristics of God. We need to know the contents of God. What makes up God? And this is not far. This is not something that is that we can't we can't decipher. This is not something that is beyond our comprehension. Because don't forget that we have the Spirit of God in us. And the Spirit of God knows everything. So in effect, Ade, you know everything. Until that becomes reality to you, you will argue it till the cows come home. When I say you know everything, you say, yeah, pigs will fly. That is to say, tell me another story. I don't know everything. I don't even know who you are. I don't even know this and that. If I know everything, I'll be scoring 100% in my exams, and so on and so forth. Well, it takes the Spirit of God in you to let you know that you know everything. And if you believe that you were created in God's own image, then every knowledge is available to you. There will be some that you have to go to school to learn. There will be some that the experiences of life will hand over to you. And there will be some that intuition, you remember what I said intuition is? It's you hearing God speak to you. There are some that will be revealed to you during prayer without God even speaking to you. As you're praying your heart's desire, you're freeing up, you are releasing, you're letting go of things that had troubled your mind. And what happens? The pressure in the bottle. When I opened this bottle earlier on, that's my tin soda. I love tin soda. I don't drink ordinary water. I drink soda water. You see? When I open that, the bottle releases some pressure. So when you let go, pressures are released. Okay? And so when you release the pressure in prayer, when you release the pressure in the exercises of letting go that we've been going through, when you release the pressure in just sitting down and reading your Bible or Holy Scriptures, when you say it, God says, be still and know that I am God. When you just stay still, what does being still mean? Being still means that you let go of all thinking. I mentioned once in one of my videos that thoughts are so many. 1,001 thoughts come to you, and we think in pictures. Okay? We think in pictures. So all this thinking are coming. But it is so important for us to know that we can only take one thought at a time. We can only take one thought at a time. 1,001 will come bombarding you, and then you say, oh, I just can't take it anymore. There are too many thoughts in my heart. There's too many thoughts in my head. It's doing me, it's making me crazy. What will not allow too many thoughts in your head is this exercise that I'm sharing with you. This exercise of letting go. So if you are saying enough is enough, I need to improve, or I need to get there, or I need to create my dreams, God gives you the desires of your heart. Whether you know God or not, God gives you the desires of your heart. And from that desire, from those desires of your heart, knowing God, we just fine-tune it. Because there are lots of times when the Wolis, you know Wolis? Wolis are prophets. They think, well, a lot of people think they are prophets, but they are not. They are just operating in that office for a while, and then they move to other places. There are lots of times when prophets are seeing things that are past. They are seeing things that are past about you. And they will say it, they will call you to one side and they will tell you things that are past. Things that you are not in that dimension anymore. You know? But when they tell you things that are past, it's not because they are false prophets. It's because there's a bottleneck in those things that are past. You see, when God uses a prophet to give you a message, don't you think that, don't ever you think that that prophet knows the knickers you're wearing or the color of the bra you have on. Ladies, don't be scared of prophets. They don't see you naked, because God, the Spirit of God, will not reveal such nonsense. And there are lots of things they don't know about you. You give them information about you when they are asking questions, and you give information. And as you are giving those informations, because they are used to tuning in, letting go on information, a clarity comes to them that they can tell you things that look highly spiritual. They can give you messages that are going to give you a little bit of clarity yourself. After all, they say iron sharpens iron. You know, and we are all connected. So if somebody says he's a prophet and he gives you a message and the message is not spot on, it doesn't mean that that message is false. You have to keep an open mind. You have to just clear your mind and listen. And as that prophet or that person has given you that message, you take it in and process it. And this art of processing is what I'm sharing with you. This is what I do all the time. There's no aspect of my life that the processing, the letting go doesn't work in. You see, if a prophet tells me something that I know is not right, or that I know has been a while, it's not now, and the man is talking like it's now, I will take it and process it. And how do I process it? I would take the feelings that come from that message. Because obviously, for that prophet to say it, it means it's still lingering. You see? It's still lingering. And maybe that's why I'm a bit smart, snappy with somebody. Maybe somebody does something that reminds me of, maybe a man wears a corduroy trousers. Like one of my residents in my rehab, she says when she sees a man wearing corduroy trousers, she's so afraid, she's nearly peeing herself, because her father loved corduroy and her father used to sexually abuse her when she was young. So much that she had a stillborn child for her own biological father. So that stronghold is still in her. That hurt is still in her. That mess is still in her. It's so recessed in her. She's already born again, baptized, but she hasn't dealt with that feeling. And somebody comes now and said, well, you have a father, or you have a brother who has sexually assaulted you, and do this, do that, Don't let me just create a story, because when I create stories, I believe that people who are watching, if they have that kind of experiences in their lives, this will give them release. So somebody tells you something about, somebody comes and gives you a message about some events in your life that you rather not remember again. The first thing that comes is you start to have a headache, okay? And then your stomach starts to churn. And then sometimes you feel like throwing up. And sometimes you are restless. And sometimes you just want to run away from that discussion. Those are feelings. And I'm saying they are treasures. They are treasures. Because all you need to do then is to let go of that feeling. Because the feelings were not here 5 minutes ago until you heard that message. And then the feeling comes back on. It comes on to you. And then it was like you were reliving that sin that happened 20, 25 years, 10 years, 5 years, 10 days ago. When the feelings rise like that, God turns everything around for good for those who love Him. When those feelings are right, let me see Abel, God bless you. Rachel Abe Ayeni, God bless you, Rachel. God bless you. Thanks for watching. Please, would you like this program? When such feelings have come over you, I say they are treasures. It's like, have you ever done treasure hunting? When they will hide treasures here and there, they will give you a clue where to find it. So some people will come and give you a spiritual message. that is not relevant to now, and it will just activate that feeling. It will just revive that feeling in you that you think you have recessed for a long time and it's no longer there. When such happens to you, just be thankful. Just be thankful. Okay? Just be thankful. Because you need to do something with that feeling. And that feeling, how do you do something with it? How? What is the process? I would say, if the feeling comes to you, then it is not you. And it is not attached to you permanently. It is not. If it is attached to you permanently, it will not come to you. Let's talk grammar now. I say the feeling comes to you. It is not attached to you. It is not a part of you. It comes to you. So when it comes, I say, because it's not attached to you, can you let it go? I'm not saying let it go. I say, can you let it go? Joke Aduni John, you're welcome. God bless you. God bless you. Please, would you like or love this program? And can you share? So the feeling comes to you. You are not attached to it. That's why it comes. Anything that comes to you is not a part of you. So you can hold on to it. You can rock it like a baby. You can sleep with it. You can carry it everywhere. That's fine. But if it's giving you a headache, if it's depressing you, if it's making you have a running stomach, or if it's making you want to puke, why do you want to hold on to it? So I'm now giving you an invitation saying, can you let it go? You say, yes, I can, because it's not attached to me. I say, would you let it go? And you say, well, I would if I know how to. Would you let it go? I would if I know how to. I said, you've just said it's not attached to you. I've just proved to you that it's not attached to you. It came. If something comes, do you have to entertain it? Do you have to keep it? You don't have to. So would you let it go? Yes, I would. When? Tomorrow? Later on? You want it to stay as long as possible to continue giving you the headache? You say now. When you say that word now, you will feel a relief. You will feel a feeling from between your pubic area and your navel, and then it starts rising and it comes to your bosom, and you start to feel some joy spread across you. And you feel lighter. Go back and look at that feeling again. Is it still there? Not as serious as it was before. I assure you, it wouldn't be. Could you let it go again? Would you? When? Now. I'm releasing for somebody who is watching me. Abidemi Hawk Onadiji. God bless you. Joke Aduni John. God bless you. I'm feeling the release. I think somebody is doing the exercise and somebody is proven that it works. It's not a big deal. I use it all the time. When I go to the dentist, fearing sitting there for the dentist to start working on my teeth, I already fear. My mother always said, don't die before the death. So when I go to the dentist and I'm sitting in the reception, once I have gone to the receptionist and let them know I'm here, and they say, please sit down, Dr. Jarvis, I start there and then to release, to let go. And it got so much that I let go. I go to the dentist, and it's never as painful as it used to be before. And do you know now, I go to dentist every month because I've got to go and do my hygiene. You know, the cleaning of the plaque and the polishing of my teeth, you know, and the checking whether sweets or any sweet thing has put a hole in. And then they will give me an appointment to come in and fill those ones. I go every month and I look forward to it. When my children were having babies, they insist. They do insist, or well, they did insisted, because they are still going to be, well, at least 2 of them are still going to be having babies. One says she's done. Yes. They insist that I should be at the birth of their babies. Do you know the pain, the agony it is for you to see your child in labor? Someone like me, nobody would have believed that I could watch a person give birth. But as God will have it in His greatest mercy, the first child I brought to this world, not being a midwife, but being there in a delivery room, was a lady whom I helped, gave an accommodation to, because she came to the UK. She was stranded because the people she normally would stay with to go to the hospital to have her baby had traveled. And the neighbor mentioned her to me because the lady was black. And I happened to be the only black in the whole of that street. So the neighbor came to me and told me what was happening to this black lady, and I took her in. So when she was in labor, took her to the hospital, and obviously her husband is thousands of miles away. He doesn't live in the UK. So I had to stay with her to have the baby. And I watched all that. So God had prepared me. I'd seen somebody that is not really emotionally mine, you know, it's not my child, you know. It was traumatic, but because I've already known this art of release, you know, I released and released. As we were going, I was releasing, and I actually was speaking to the lady to let go as the contractions were coming. I taught her how to let go, and this lady was surprised that it worked. There had been occasions when I would want to speak in a gathering of about 600, 700, 800, 1,000 people, and little me to get up there, and I would, in the past, what I would have done, well, I tell you, I've been using this letting go for a long time, before I even became a speaker, to speak, you know, keynote speaker or whatever. But when I was in secondary school, I developed so many other ways of dealing with traumatic issues, or issues that are embarrassing, or issues that are beyond me, and so on. So I created a character inside myself that is not me. I created a character, a jovial character, that would deal with the situation. And so I became talkative. I would say things, I became braver, sort of. And it's all a pretense. And all these characters that I created became strongholds in my life. They are like, what do they call it? They were like gremlins. So much that it got to a time when I didn't even know which was my real character. I was such an actor that I was many people to many, and people really didn't understand me. They couldn't say, oh, this is how she is, because I would just morph into whatever. Morph means like metamorphosis. I would just change into whoever I wanted. And that wasn't helping me at all. I couldn't stand in front of you and say, what you see is what you get. I was diabolically various. I didn't like it. I didn't like it because at the end of that discussion or at the end of that situation, I'll be kicking myself that I had accepted what I shouldn't have accepted. And that I had even lies were coming in. But now you won't find me tell a lie, because I'll say to someone, I must fear you to tell a lie to you. And I don't fear nobody. I fear God, but I can't tell lies to God because God knows everything. So you see now. So this art of letting go does not keep all those falsehood in you. Apart from the fact that it takes away pressure, and apart from the fact that it takes away miraculously, the sorts of things that are oppressing people, it oppresses and it makes them feel like, oh, whatever they are looking for is far-fetched. It becomes like a cloud that just goes away, and then the day is clear and you can see clearly and you can decide clearly, and things are just happening for you. There has never been any time that I was broke. Believe it. There was never any time that I had a problem that I couldn't solve. And there was never any time that I had to run to any human being, not even my parents, since I learned this art of letting go to solve problems for me. I don't. And even it has got to a stage when people tell me their problem, I solve it for them without even discussing with them. It is very profound. It is very easy. And I will show you how. First of all, let's talk about not being broke. If I know there are bills coming and I've been out and about, I haven't worked for a while, I haven't sort of realized money, brought money into my account, and then I'm spending maybe renovation, this and that. I mean, like all through this renovation I've been doing, moving office and all that. I haven't been doing my consultancy because I need to be around. So I'm telling you, a lot of money that I should have realized, focused on doing my consultancy, is not there. So, and I'm spending a lot. So what do? I go for the feeling of lack, feeling of being broke, feeling of, oh God, how am I going to pay that bill? Only the feeling, not the situation, because I'm not even in the situation. I think you will agree with me that before you even get into the situation, you are already panicking. Panicking. Panicking is the word. So panicking is that feeling that you need to get rid of. Fear is that feeling that you need to get rid of. Some people will sweep it under the carpet. They'll go and have a glass of wine or vodka, or go and smoke weed or smoke cigarettes. Yes, those days when I used to smoke, I just get the cigarette out. By the time I smoke about 2 or 3, not chain smoke, I will smoke, and then I will drink my Maltex. And then from drinking Maltex, I started drinking whiskey. Never got drunk, really. It's just to take away the pressure, As a chartered accountant and a woman, there's a lot of responsibility there. You're doing firms, you're sorting out their accounts, you're revamping their accounts departments and so on. And you're a mother, you're a wife, you're a sister, you're a neighbor, you're a ministry person. You see how the pressure is coming, and it's just pushing you down, 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 down. And then I'll say, oh, this is my relaxation time. It's 6 o'clock, I'm home now. Put my feet up after eating, watching TV. I'll be puffing away, having little children around me, polluting the poor children. Until one day when I was told that my daughter, my last born, the mixed race daughter I have, was suffering from bronchitis and is passive smoking. That very day, I stopped smoking. And that was, I think, about 28 years ago. So do you have to have trauma to stop you from smoking? And even then, when I stopped smoking, I didn't have any urge ever again, because the price is too high that I'm paying for that bad habit. Samuel Ogolabi, thanks for watching. Adenike Ogunlusi. Oh, it's a long time. I haven't seen you for a while, Adenike. Lulu Diamond, nice to see you. God bless you. The point I'm making here is that even though it was trauma that I suffered, knowing that my lovely little 5-year-old or 7-year-old then, whom I've been running to every part of the hospital, every hospital appointment, through my busy schedule. My children come first. I will go here, I will go there, and then they will prescribe medication. I will stay up at night. She will eat, she will throw up because she was coughing. Even the discomfort made me cry. And then they said she had bronchitis. And even in the hospital, they didn't tell me, because I was a very clean smoker. But if I want to help somebody to stop smoking, I couldn't help them by telling them that trauma of what happened, what of the pain I caused my daughter stop me smoking. If I said it to people, it wouldn't mean anything to them, because if they are not that attached, or they are not wired the way I am emotionally with their children, it won't work. But once I learned this art of letting go, that I'm saying, her again, so that I will rock her 7-year-old because of this coughing, you know. I didn't have trauma then. I just thought it's something I should do. But I went to the pharmacy, and the pharmacist, because I had my daughter with me, and she was coughing and coughing, and the man saw me with cigarettes. That was that time when you could smoke anywhere. There's no smoking, you know. Many years ago. 20, how many? 26, 27 years ago I'm talking about now. He saw me with a cigarette in my hand, and he saw my little beautiful princess there, you know. And he said, and the girl coughed, and the man just looked at me and said, Mrs. James. That's what I was then. That was my late husband's name. Mrs. James, he said, do you know it's passive smoking that is affecting your daughter? I said, really? I felt so guilty. I took the medication. I went, and I never ever smoked again till today. But the trauma followed me a long time, and I couldn't use that, because you use your experience to help people. I couldn't use that experience, because the experience, it's on the window there. Yeah, check it and make sure that the reception is good. Yeah, I think I'm back now. Don't worry. Sorry about that. It's this Nigerian network. I really need to get used to it. I can't wait to get back to England, just because of network, just because of Wi-Fi trouble. Otherwise, I want to stay here. I want to stay longer, you know. So I couldn't use my negative experience to help somebody. Negative never does anything in this world. But if I had let go, I could tell people how to let go on that trauma. And you know what? About 20 years afterwards, I just realized that that was something I hadn't used this tool for. So I went and used it, and you know what happened? I just said, this trauma I felt then, can I revisit it? And I revisited it, and I was panting and panting. You know, I was out of breath, you know, with fear. Tears were coming down my eyes. And all those thoughts that I was a bad mother and so on were just reeling all over, you know. I said the thoughts were reeling. I didn't take any of them, but they were reeling around, you know. And what did I do? I said, can I let go? Yes. Would I let go? Yes. When? Now. And I did that. I did that. Type of letting go that I said I was going to be sharing with you. Gradually introducing you now from letting go to reclaiming your power. And I'll tell you that letting go, when you let go of negative, it disappears, it frees you up. It makes you feel, makes you feel like somebody. You know, it releases you from a kind of tension, you know. Even people who say, I'm back again. It's network, please, just bear with me. So I have introduced you now from letting go to reclaiming your power. In letting go, you are free. And then the goodness, and if you have any feelings of goodness and you let go on the feeling of goodness, it becomes bigger. But when you reclaim your power, you immediately feel empowered. You immediately feel disconnect from that thing that is giving you discomfort. That is the next topic we'll be talking about at length tomorrow. You know, I'm talking about from broken to thriving. When you say enough is enough, I've got to have a change in my life. I've got to improve. I've got to be successful at this. I've got to take this on, you know, and you are thriving at whatever thing you're doing because you've learned the art of letting go in prayer. To share with you tomorrow. I'm still in Nigeria and I'm working really, 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 really hard to get a lot of things which I wasn't able to do all this time during the COVID-19. I had to run back home in February when I was supposed to stay here a while. So I'm completing all the tasks I should have done then, and I'm really enjoying myself. Samuel Owolabi, thanks for watching. Nike Ogulusi, thanks for watching. And all of you that have watched this today, please do not take it lightly because these are very, very powerful tools. And I'm showing you different situations that you could use them, little and large. Even in the Bible tells you about fickle feelings. Feelings are fickle. Feelings are fickle. Feelings are like strongholds. Feelings sort of give you a false evidences. You know, they say fear, the acronym for fear is false evidences appearing real. It's feelings that gives you the false evidences. So if the feeling is negative and you let go, you stay with only positive. I'll have to wind up now because I don't like this network nonsense. You know, I don't like this network nonsense. You know, so I'll wind up here. Hopefully, maybe tomorrow I'll get a better network for us to start on reclaiming power. I can't wait for that. So please, if you have just come in, I think I might have done more than 30 minutes with you now, which is fine. I just wanted to be on the air today to wind up on this letting go and on sit, walk, and stand. But tomorrow I want to talk about reclaiming power.